There were several major Tesla announcements and news last week that we'll share today. First, after Joe Rogan expressed his excitement for Tesla's full self-driving to his hundreds of millions of followers, several Tesla executives chimed in, including Milan Kovac and Elon Musk. We'll take a look at those comments. Elon then said that new Tesla vehicles bought from the factories will drive themselves right to your house. That will not only happen one day, but actually this year. Second, Tesla is hiring more people for Robotaxi in Austin. This time it's for a diagnostics engineer for the vehicle software team who can help create software that tracks potential issues in real time in the cars. Third, there are videos coming now from India showing off Tesla testing their cars in Mumbai. This comes as there are now 25 job postings in India, the most ever. Fourth, Tesla AI just dropped new photos of what looks like Dojo racks. Tesla's own supercomputer power is ramping up fast. And finally, we'll take a look at the questions that might be asked at Tesla's Q1 earnings call. To help me do this is Larry Goldberg. Larry's traveling right now. Appreciate your time sharing your information like this with me.
Great to be here.
So these are Tesla executives and announcements from Tesla. We love it when that happens. This happened over the course of the last several days and the week. So some of it is a repeat, but a lot of it is kind of interesting new information as well. So the first one here, you've got Joe Rogan, right? He posted this. I had my Tesla Model S drive me home the other day with FSD, and it's friggin' wild. Changes lanes to avoid slow traffic, stops at red lights and stop signs, hits the blinkers and turns for you. It's bananas. Milan Kovac, who's the executive in charge, VP in charge of the Optimus bot, he chimed in and he said, this weekend I drove to Napa and back close to 200 miles on FSD. I think I had maximum a couple interventions and they were both comfort related, meaning not necessary per se. My car took me through my neighborhood's winding, hilly streets, got on the highway, navigated San Francisco's weekend road mess, crossed the Bay Bridge, stopped at a supercharger, headed straight to my destination, Napa. The way back was just as clean, this time over the Golden Gate Bridge. I had relatives with me and they couldn't believe it. They said it drove smoother than any of us. Most people just haven't realized yet that this tech actually exists now and you can get it on your own Tesla car. The moment it goes entirely unsupervised will be wild. Massive engineering push for a decade by the team, Ashok Swami. Elon said it's hard to believe until you try it. So this sets it up that Tesla announced last week that, they said one day it'll drive itself right to your house. They actually posted videos sharing how a Model Y and a Cybertruck born in the factories, they're now driving themselves to the parking lot. But Tesla said one day it's going to drive it to your house. You buy a car and it'll come out of the factory and drive straight to your house. But Elon said this year. My God, Larry.
I expect this to happen in Austin before the end of the year.
Yeah.
A car made in Austin deliver itself to a customer. I think that I'm absolutely aligned with Elon. I can't see it not happening this year.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't understand how that even works.
Well, think about it. I mean, you make an appointment to get your car delivered at a certain time of the day or night, and Tesla tells the car what time to leave the outbound lot, tells it what the address is. What's to stop it driving there?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to understand is it legal?
Yeah, once robotaxis are licensed, as they will be in Austin after July, why would it not be legal?
So as long as Tesla has a, I think, what is it called? It's not a robot. It's like, I can't remember what it's called, but a ride hailing program, autonomous ride hailing program approved legally, then this is just part of that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I believe it's going to happen in Austin this year.
That's crazy. This confidence level that he said this year is crazy. And then whenever you hear, that's why I share this, is Milan Kovac, right? And we had the other guy who's in Tesla AI labeling executive. He said these things too, that it's just, it's happening now. They're all jumping out, not just Elon. That's the critical point.
Yeah, I drove yesterday. I drove about 750 miles for the day, a very relaxed drive. I had no safety interventions. I had quite a few comfort interventions where I wanted to go faster than the car's prepared to go for me. I won't tell you what that speed was, but to get past some traffic and stuff like that. But other than the comfort interventions, the car's completely safe.
Yep.
It's driving itself without safety interventions at all. It's reached a point, and by the way, this is in the Cybertruck, which is not as good as my Model 3.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the same with me. I've been saying to folks that I've not had an intervention for 2.5 months. Every day I drive it perfect. So I want to share this one other video, which is, I think, pretty interesting. It's, we're seeing more and more situations now where it's not just that it's driving. It actually has this ability to reason just like a human, or maybe we're interpreting too much into it. Let's take a look at this video from AI Driver.
And not only does it do things smoothly, it does them confidently. This is a very tough scenario ahead. We're supposed to make a left turn at the next street, but there's an accident that's blocking the intersection. The first thing you'll notice is that it did not move into the left-hand turn lane because it knew oncoming cars were using that lane to go around the accident. It decides to make its move after this next car passes, even showing intention by continually creeping into the intersection. Then does one final check to make sure the person in front of us is stopping. He waves us through and it continues. This moment literally gave me chills. It was input for input, exactly what I would have done, except probably honestly better.
That was human. Like you cannot actually argue that was not human-like. You can't. I mean, it's extraordinary how it will surprise you these ways. It's extraordinary.
I love it. Unbelievable. Right? It's supposed to go to turn left, but then it noticed that cars were using the left turn lane, so it doesn't go to the left lane. Just that alone is brilliant. And then knowing when to take its turn. When is it your turn? When is it my turn? And then creeping a little bit, just giving little signals, right? Signals that, okay, I'm going to try to do this. It's like what you would do as a driver. Can I take it? I'm going to drive a little bit. No? Okay, it's your turn. Okay. That negotiation you have.
Brad Ferguson posted, I think it was last week, where, he was going to make a left turn according to the light situation in against oncoming traffic where he had the light on his side. A car came, which he didn't see, ran the red light, and his car, FSD, actually put the brakes on. And he didn't even understand why it put the brakes on until that car came shooting past. And this week, he was behind another car, which got hit
I saw that,
by a driver braking that through that very same red light. And so, there's a situation where FSD saved Brad's butt. So, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Truly amazing.
So this idea, again, that Elon is saying Tesla cars will drive themselves. You buy the car, it goes from the factory to your home. You agree with that. You thought that's going to happen this year. That's crazy.
It's going to happen in Austin sometime in the second half of this year, and by the end of next year, I believe that will be the standard way of Tesla being delivered. You'll make an appointment, the day and the time,
use the
and
app,
it will drive itself to you.
Yeah, today people don't even realize. I mean, I just bought one. It sounds like you bought many Teslas at this point. Use the app. It's such an easy process to buy a car, almost as fast as it is for me to order something from Amazon. Honestly, you buy the car, you negotiate with you talk to the customer service rep through the app messaging back and forth, very easy. You go there, you sign paperwork, and you're out. So simple. But here, you don't even need to go there anymore. It will all be done through the app. The car will come to you.
Well, let me tell you what I did this last year. I changed my wife's older Model 3, older 2021 Model 3 for a brand new one through the app, ordered it, picked it up on the last day of the year, no problem. And then I came home. I thought, you know what? My Model X, I don't need the Model X anymore. I don't need a six-seater anymore. I'm going to change this for a new Model 3. I loved her Model 3 so much.
Oh, you're kidding. Yeah.
And late in the evening,
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve, I bought a car. Bought a car on the app.
Yeah.
And I went and picked it up on the 2nd of, and it was like no
easy.
interaction with anybody at all.
Yeah.
And it was a trade-in.
How easy it is. Okay, so this is going to be even easier. The car comes to you. I hope that becomes something that people realize sooner than just how crazy that is. Okay, anyways, Robotaxi is happening. Here's another sign of how we know that Robotaxi is happening. You've got this job opening for a diagnostic engineer for Robotaxi operations in Austin, Texas. And it says here, to enhance diagnostics and repair of driverless vehicles, use as robotaxis. Okay. This is part of the, Vehicle Software
Mission
Organization.
Control and Operations Hub.
Part of the Vehicle Software Organization. So it's a software that they're building that can in real time diagnose safety, anything that's happening with the app, and then fix it through the app. So,
but look at the second line of the first paragraph. Mission Control and Operations Hub. Now we know that they're setting up the central Mission Control and Operations Hub, so that we already know what the organization structure is going to look like.
It's like Uber, right? Remember that video, that movie?
We've been contemplating that this will happen. Now we know that it's happened, and they have this thing operational. And this is part of the staffing up of that group, of that organization.
Yeah. In that movie with Uber, they showed this one giant, conference room, I guess, massive room. And then they had TVs everywhere. That was their hub, and they can mission control. They can see all these stats. They can see whatever data they want to see.
Well, nobody is more experienced in building mission control
yes.
Than Elon and his team, and I'm sure that they have borrowed very heavily from SpaceX in building this mission control.
All right, so if you don't believe that Tesla is actually launching a robotaxi operations, they're hiring people, and this is just one more, but it was an interesting hire. Everything is going to be done through software. They can track it because it's unlike Uber. Uber has actually zero, software in the car, except for the software in your app. These guys have everything that's happening in the car being tracked, and they can actually see if the car's, tires are low. We better bring that car in to get the tires filled. They'll see all of this.
And they have huge compute power.
So we're seeing Teslas being driven around in Mumbai at this point in India. So I'll play those videos, but they also have these 25 job postings in India. India's the third largest auto market. But basically, remember like a couple of weeks ago, we were showing that India was hiring Tesla employees, but they were for sales because they had a couple sales retail stores being opened up. But now we're seeing all sorts of different kinds of jobs being opened up. This is gonna maybe it still is just vehicle service and sales, right? That makes sense. But eventually, it's gonna go beyond that. So let's play some of these videos. That's a Tesla being driven in Mumbai. Yeah. I don't think that it's camouflaged.
Yeah, now this is the Mumbai-Pune Expressway, and it's one of the few really reasonable roads in India. There are not a lot of, in relative terms to US, there are not a lot of these nice freeways. It's a lot more chaotic. But look, we saw FSD driving in these very chaotic Chinese roads. So maybe possible that this can happen in India as well.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I know that I'm wrong in this one, but I used to say that actually I think it's easier for autonomous cars to drive in India and China because I drove in the Philippines, and basically I need to go from one place to another place. I just go straight line. I don't need to worry about the rules and the lights, and I just go because that's what everybody's doing. And because it's so busy, all you need to worry about is, okay, is it my turn? Move in. Oh, I'm not going to get hit. Okay, move in. But actually, of course, Ashok Swami himself said that he goes, the day that we could drive in China and India is the day that I know the autonomy is here.
Yeah,
He said that a long time ago. So he knows, of course.
The amount of compute power you need to actually anticipate what everybody else is doing is dramatically higher in China and India than it is here, because the level of expectation, is fulfilled so much more often here than it is in India or China.
I was trying to look for that video that I played a few times where it's driving around in India and or China, and it's just crazy, crazy traffic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's very impressive.
Yeah, this is the one here. I'll just pause it for a second. It's just a great video. I played it a few times now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as busy as it can get. You got pedestrians crossing. You've got bikes.
Two-wheelers, bikes, the whole bit, yeah.
And they're doing it anytime, everywhere. Like there's no rules per se. And cars doing just fine. People popping in and out.
That's very tame traffic compared to, Bangalore off the freeway, even on the freeway, actually.
All right.
At least there are lanes that are marked.
So here's the next story here I wanted to ask you specifically, because you know quite a bit about this. So Tesla AI just dropped this. They have two new photos. Looks like it's Dojo supercomputer clusters here. And they just seem to go on forever here. Yeah. So
those are Dojo clusters. I think it's in Buffalo. I don't think this is in Texas. Yeah, I think it's in Buffalo. I don't know that they have a Dojo cluster in Texas yet.
I mean, why did they drop this? Of course, I just think that it shows you Dojo is real, number one. We did hear Elon say that the last quarter earnings call. He said that Dojo is looking like it's working really well. And then the question is, can they make enough that's actually going to be significant to contribute to the NVIDIA purchases? This will add to what NVIDIA is doing. And I just did a show with Brian Wang, and he calculated the number of Dojo and NVIDIA, and basically saying at this point, not just the hardware racks, but the software, that everything's going to become accelerated, AI accelerators that no other company can match XAI and Tesla's skill, because they're adding in Dojo as well.
Well, I understand that Dojo version 2 is about to be implemented and tested. I'm not sure it has been operationalized yet.
But what did you just see though?
I think this is the first version of Dojo.
Okay.
And I think Dojo, and these are guesses because this information hasn't been shared with us. But from what I've read and seen, I think they're preparing to implement Dojo 2. Now, there's some very interesting aspects of Dojo 2, and that is the speed of the Ethernet. I believe that it's going to be significantly faster than the Ethernet on the NVIDIA chips. So it'd be great to get some additional information from Tesla on what they're doing on Dojo. I don't think they're going to publish it anytime soon, to be honest. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Okay. So Q1 earnings call, they called it a company update. It's happening on Tuesday, the 22nd. And so I wanted to ask you kind of the questions that the retail shareholders have asked. We'll go through each one of these, but basically it's voted up. And so by Tuesday, this would have changed its order. But basically, these are the questions that retail investors have asked, and then usually Tesla answers the top 10 questions. So the first one is, when will FSD unsupervised be available for personal use on personally owned cars? What's your understanding of what that might mean?
Well, that's when, you can actually allow, where the car won't monitor your eyes to make sure they're on the road. And you can actually have the car drive without supervision. And I think the answer is that this is not Tesla's call. This will be, a regulator's call.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too.
And so I think this is a silly question. I think this is burning. See, the reason I'm not happy about the retail questions is that we burn questions that we know can't be answered.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why they get voted up again and again and again. It's really very frustrating. So everybody who voted for that, you just burnt a question.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you. Because I had asked this question yesterday with Nick Gibbs, and I was also pretty confused. Like, FSC unsupervised, can I do it in my state of Washington here? Does that mean that I can just sleep in my car? Because they're calling it unsupervised. No, I think that there needs to be some legal coverage for that before Tesla will cover the legal, like there has to be some sort of regulation. So maybe you can do that in a Robotaxi in those states that approved for it, but I'm not sure that I can personally do it in my car. That's what I was just asking the question.
Well,
so
once Robotaxi is approved in a particular city or a particular venue, then I'm sure there'll be a license required. Yeah. And so I think there are two steps to this. One is we got to get regulatory approval. Second, we got to get a license, some form of approval for that car, for that vehicle that you own to be unsupervised. So I don't think it's Tesla's call.
Good.
Now,
that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
Yeah. The question is, can Tesla relax the control that it has at the moment? I think that's a NHTSA call. So I think this is such a silly question. Hopefully they'll clarify that for us and tell us what the conditions are that would have to be precedent for us, for them to be able to do this. But other than that, this is a silly question. This is burning a question away. And it's the top question.
Top question. Next one here we've got is Tesla still on track for releasing more affordable models this year, or will you be focusing on simplified versions to enhance affordability, similar to the rear-wheel drive Cybertruck, which was a stripped-down Cybertruck, reduced 10 grand out of it? So this is the debate that everybody has been having over and over again. Guess we're going to find out. Hopefully we'll find out soon. We'll maybe, by Tuesday.
Again, hopefully, Elon will answer that, or they'll say, look, we're going to have this in the company announcement after this call and you'll hear about it then. I think this is a product question. I don't think that it's for an earnings call, but it's a very important question. It's right. It's top of mind for us. And so maybe it's worth asking the question, even if it prompts a reply as to when they're going to answer.
Yeah, exactly. One of the top questions we need to ask. How is Tesla positioning itself to flexibly adapt to global economic risks in the form of tariffs, political biases, and so forth?
Yeah, that's on top of everybody's mind. So maybe that's the reason why it's a top question. I expect them to address this. In the earnings call. I expect this to be in the company announcement.
Agreed. Yep. And then does Tesla have a battery supply constraint? That was noted on the fourth quarter earnings call. And how does this change with tariffs? Absolutely one of the most important costs. Yeah.
I would put this at the top.
Yeah. That's the biggest constraint that, they brought up. It was interesting, though. I think Elon, when he said it, he kind of also said, we had a meeting this morning and we think we have a plan. So it'd be great to hear the plan of what it was and whether or not they feel like it's on its way.
If they feel they can announce it.
Next question here is the concern about Tesla brand damage. Did Tesla experience any meaningful changes in order inflow rate in Q1? And that's the only way we will truly know whether or not there was brand damage. Did the inflow of orders change during this period of time or not?
Yeah.
So, interesting to know.
I would have liked to have asked that a little bit more, with a little bit more detail, and that is, was there a geographic trend in that change of flow, or was there a geographic trend in the flow at all?
Yeah, that's very, very important. Okay, Robotaxi still on track for this year. I'm sure they will answer that without needing to have a question, but
yeah.
they could have asked a little bit more of a specific question on that one. But are you expecting that they're going to actually share details of the Robotaxi? I just don't. Or I mean, like the last time they did it, they actually showed you the app and they showed you a demo of it, but they didn't tell you. I don't think they're going to tell you, right? Price. They're not going to do that until the day of.
There's this company announcement. Is it part of the shareholder? Is it part of the earnings announcement? Is it an event after the fact? I don't understand what we're going to be seeing next week.
Yeah, because instead of an earnings call, they called it a company update. So people are like, did they do that on purpose? What does that mean? Maybe it's a separate thing.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the time they're going to make announcements like this. And then we have this question here, which is last of the top 7 questions. Regarding the Tesla Optimus pilot line, can you confirm if it is currently operational? If so, what is the current production rate of Optimus bots per week? Additionally, how might the recent tariffs impact the scalability of this production line moving forward? Yeah, I'm glad that we had a robot question and a bunch of Robotaxi questions.
Yeah, I agree with that question. I think that's a very material point from our perspective.
Yeah. We're in the first quarter, but we're going to get the report on the first quarter, but we're in April now. So this is the 2 big ones. What's going to happen? Perfect. Thank you so much, Larry. I whenever you see these job postings, it's just another breadcrumb to see what might be happening in Austin for Robotaxi, in India. Now you've got these Tesla AI Dojo racks. You've got the FSD being, but it's we got to see more than just Elon saying that it's going to be driven to your house. We got to hear other people say it, and then my gosh, it's true. Okay.
I think it's true. I mean,
yeah.
I would expect it to happen anyway.
Yeah.
With or without Elon saying it.
Yeah. A year ago, I interviewed Joe Techmeyer on this channel, and I said to him, can you, keep a close eye. One day, these cars will come out and they will drive themselves to the parking lot. I already can you watch that moment? And here we are. Well, this was a year ago. And I just stop and think about what that means, right? A car that's built in a factory drives itself.
Well, there are cars in other factories that drive themselves to the parking lot, but they use actual
LiDARs.
Yeah, not LiDARs as much as sensors. They have sensors on the road that tell the car where it is.
Anyways, thank you so much, Larry. Follow Larry on his X account at Tesla Larry. See y'all. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.